Claude MCP, which stands for Model Context Protocol. Anthropic first announced this in November. I quickly made a video about it with great excitement, but when the video didn't get much attention, I thought, man, you got too hyped up on your own again, I overdid it. But then 5 months passed, and I started receiving many comments and questions about this topic. I realized that I had jumped the gun. Afterwards, I decided to make this video with the new updates of MCP. I'm also leaving the link to the first video here. Please watch that too, because to save your time, I won't go into detail in this video, as I did in the first one. So, what is this Claude MCP? Briefly, we can call it a connection protocol. In other words, a standard. Anthropic developed it, but it can be used in all applications, servers, and AI models. With this standard, Claude or any AI model can easily connect to a place, exchange information, or make changes. It does this in a standardized way using the same pattern every time. For instance, you got the API code from somewhere. You also took the codes to use that code. You came and connected it somewhere with that code. The era where each API worked differently is over. MCP is advancing at an incredible speed. In the last 5 months, many applications and servers have been added. I don't know how to explain it more simply, but you can think of MCP like ATMs where all cards work. With one card, you can withdraw and deposit money from all of them, or think of it like a passport valid all over the world. I think it will be better understood with examples. So, what are we going to do in this video? We will have Claude draw something with blended 3D modeling software. Using MCP, we will create HTML files on our computer. With the Firecrawl application, we will fetch information from the web in a way that Claude normally can't. Finally, we will connect to the PubMed library, which contains 34 million medical articles, and fetch information. It will be another content-rich video. Let's get started. In November, Anthropic announced Claude MCP, or Model Context Protocol. With this blog post, let me translate it into Turkish right away. I explained it in the first MCP video, but since you probably won't watch it, I'll talk a little about it here too. It provides a universal open standard to connect AI systems to data sources and replaces fragmented integrations with a single protocol. You can actually think of it like Type-C. There used to be many connectors, but now with Type-C, we can connect everything. Along with the announcement, Claude released ready integrations like Google Drive, Slack, GitHub, and Puppeteer. So, for example, with MCP, you can connect to your Google Drive folder and ask questions about the files there. You can add, delete, or modify files. For instance, with Puppeteer, you can enter information returned by Claude into text boxes on a website. To use MCP, we need Claude's desktop application. It's available in the free package as well, so it's open to everyone. You can use everything I will explain today for free. I pay a lot of attention to this matter. Let's not get in trouble for that. I fully understand that you don't like anything paid. Now, let's see what Claude has released that we can use. We clicked on the link and reached MCP's GitHub page. As you can see, many apps and services have been added since November. Many MCPs have been added by the community and Claude himself. AWS has arrived. Connect to Amazon servers and operate. Brave Search is an MCP adding web search functionality to Claude. I explained how to set it up in the first video. Normally, visuals are not generated with Claude, but you can do this using EverArt. With File System, you can grant Claude full permissions to access files on your computer. Creating, deleting, moving, modifying, whatever can be done. If you add Google Maps memory, you can have a much larger memory. As I mentioned earlier, with Puppeteer, you can input information into websites. Apart from these, there are official integrations, meaning officially approved integrations by Claude. For example, you can connect a large vector database with Chrome. Imagine you're converting your documents into a vector database and embedding them into ChromeDB. Firecrawl is an example I will show. A successful web browsing tool. Look, you can use it with Macom AI agents. In the last group, you can also connect to community servers, meaning MCPs created by users. You can connect to Airbnb and search. There's Blender. I found this interesting. It was an inspiration for this video. Claude is quite doing 3D modeling for us. As you can see, this place is modern, and it continues to develop. That's the overview. Now, how will it be used? Let's look at this in our first example. The first example I'll do is, in my opinion, the ability to work on a file that should always be in our Claude desktop application, the file system. First, let me show you that this capability is not in Claude. I went to Claude Desktop, the desktop application, and said create a folder named Game on my desktop and sent it. As you can see, it never even crosses Claude's mind to create a file. It tells me how I can create it. I visited the MCP GitHub page. I clicked on the file system link. First, install the Node JavaScript application locally. You can download and install it from here. I will leave the links to all the pages in the video description. I went back to GitHub again. Look, here are all the permissions you can have on the file. If you want, you can also use it via Docker. I will use it via MPX. I copied the codes here. I came to Claude. I went to Claude settings feature. From here, I opened the Developer tab. I clicked on the Edit Config button from the opened folder. I double-clicked on Claude Desktop Config.json and it opened in Windsurf. There's no special reason for Windsurf, it happened to be there. Any text editor will do. Look, here the MCP server file is assigned, but it's empty. I copied it, pasted the JSON code here. As you can see here, the desktop address is shown. Naturally, we need to change this. If your computer's name is not username, you can enter your own name. As you might guess, my computer's username is Maiden. I entered it. In this line, if there's another folder you want to add as an example line, you can add it too. For instance, I also added downloads. I'm saving it. I came to the Claude desktop. At this stage, what I need to do is exit Claude and reopen it. Look, MCP is now active. I'm entering the prompt again. Let's check desktop before sending. As you can see, it's empty. I came back to Claude again. I said my prompt, and it started working. It asked for permission to proceed, so I clicked the Allow button. It asked again. I guess it wasn't sure. I gave the permission and it completed. Great job, Claude. Let's see if it was from Maddie. Did it really create it? I came to the desktop. It's created. The folder game is here. We created a folder. Let's not leave it empty. I came to Claude and put my new prompt. Can you create a Tetris game with HTML in the game folder desktop? You said and sent it. It started writing. Normally it would open the artifact panel, but it didn't because it will add to the file. It writes. It asked for permission. I granted it. It completed. Let's see. I came to the desktop. I entered the game folder. It created a file named Tetris HTML. I clicked on it and opened it in the browser. I clicked on the start button. The game started. It's turned out great. I think about it, and we wondered if it could just 3 months ago. How far we've come. Let's look at another example. There's an application called Firecrawl. It's an application that can extract all the information from a website when you enter it. Not only does it extract, but it also marks it in a way that even a layperson can easily understand. As you know, it's strange, but Claude still can't operate over the web. When you provide a link, it can't analyze the site. It can't retrieve information from the web. Now let's combine Firecrawl's web search capabilities with Claude's artificial intelligence power. I'm on the GitHub MCP page. I clicked on Firecrawl. Look, it says here what Firecrawl can do. I'm scrolling down. The MCP server is here. This is the standard. As the file system codes, I'll enter my API key from Firecrawl here and finish the job. I came to the Firecrawl site. In the visual, it pulls info from the site and converts it into a format HTML can easily understand. Let's look at the price. I didn't choose an app without a free version. In the free plan, you can research 500 web pages. Let me do you a favor. 11 Labs occasionally gives away free monthly or yearly uses of some applications through the AIengineerpack.com site. Actually, I share these instantly on my X account. The name is Maiden. You can see my instant shares there. I logged into the site. I came to Firecrawl. Look, while it gives 500 credits for free, it will give 50,000 credits with this code. I clicked on the Show Code button. My code appeared. I used this code. Click, a new code will appear. Take this code and enter it with the link below. You will receive the credits. I assume you've received the credits. Now let's splurge a little and spend the credits. I clicked on the dashboard. First, let me show you this. Look, here you can send website information to vector databases like LangChain. You often ask me how to create a website chatbot and how to teach the chatbot the information on the site. Just give it to Firecrawl. Now you have credits too. Let it analyze the site's core. Feed your chatbot is RAG. If you don't get it, links for videos on what RAG and fine-tuning are. I'm leaving the links to the videos. Anyway, as you can see, there are AI agents as well. I clicked on the API keys menu. Look, here's the key I created earlier. I copied my own key. You can create one from the top right corner as well. Now I came to the GitHub page. I won't directly copy the MCP server codes because I'm going back to my Claude JSON file. Look, here is the MCP server framework already. If I add it again as it is, there will be 2 and it will give an error. If I paste over it, I will lose the skills I added before. Therefore, I will only copy the Firecrawl lines from GitHub. I started from the Firecrawl line. I copied it, leaving 2 curly braces at the bottom. I came to my JSON file. First, I added a comma at the end of the file system block. I pressed enter. I moved to the next line and pasted it. I have added it as well. Now I entered my API key and saved it. I'm going back to Claude. To activate the MCP server, I'm exiting Claude and re-entering. The number here was 11 to 21. Nice. Let's test it right away to see how it works. The AI platform that caught attention last week was Menace. Everyone talked about it. It looks very successful. One of my followers received an invitation code. Thankfully, they shared it with me. If nothing goes wrong, I plan to make a Menace video next week. Now let's try with Claude's new Firecrawl capabilities. I came to Claude Desktop and entered my prompt. Can you prepare a blog post about Menace.ai? I said and sent it. It said it can prepare it. It got to work. Normally, as Claude's info is limited to October 2024, it wouldn't be possible for it to know about Menace. But as you can see, it started writing. What is Menace? The solutions it offers, its advantages, application areas. Let it walk on the copy-paste link. Okay, let's do another example. This time, let's have a prompt that we can thoroughly integrate with Claude's capabilities. I entered my prompt. Can you analyze what's being said about our handmaiden on Exisaw's luck and create a graph of the sentiments there? I said and sent it. It started working. Firecrawl requested permission. I clicked the allow for this chat button to give permission. It asked for permission and I allowed it. It couldn't find my name, but it didn't give up. It finally caught it. Scanning posts. It will perform sentiment analysis. It started creating the graph table. Completed table. Added a study under sentiment analysis about our handmaiden on Exisaw's luck. It analyzed 19 entries and prepared a pie chart for sentiment distribution. Appreciation scored 25 points. Educational teaching scored 12 points. And it continues like that. It's interesting. With one prompt. See the topic. In summary, my situation on Exisaw's luck looks good. Let me ask a current question. While I was preparing this video, Mistral released its new open source model, Small 3.1. Inquire its response. Can you prepare a post on X about Mistral's newly announced Small 3.1 model? I said it and sent it. The answer came, but it didn't consult Firecrawl. Therefore, it brought back old information. Now I added the message to the prompt using Firecrawl. This way, it will check Firecrawl. I sent it. It checked many sites and posts. As you can see, it prepared it very clearly. All the information is correct. It even wrote which computer and operating system it can work with. Congratulations! With Claude MCP, we can exchange information from many applications. From here, let's move into an area I've never entered before, never done an example of. 3D software. Blender is a widely used 3D modeling and animation application. We can connect Claude MCP to Blender and use prompts to draw something. I'm on the Claude MCP GitHub page. We've come to the third-party MCP applications I showed at the beginning of the video. Look, here's Blender. I clicked on it, and it opened. My Claude desktop application will connect to Blender with this MCP and use Blender with the prompts I provide. I'm scrolling down. Prerequisites. What should be on my computer to use this? First, I need Blender version 3.0 or higher. I went to the blender.org site. Blender is a very successful free 3D software. I clicked on the download button. From the page that opens, you can select according to your operating system and download it. Using an Apple Silicon processor, the system recognized it automatically. I clicked on the download Blender button and it started downloading. Let this download. The next requirement is that Python 3.10 or newer versions must be installed. After that, the UV package is needed. Mac users can easily download Python and UV via the terminal. To do this, you need to download the Homebrew library to your computer. Windows users can also download it using the following command line in PowerShell. Since I use a Mac, I went to the brew.sh site. I copied the command line from there. I opened the terminal app and pasted the code directly. I entered my computer's password for install. The cursor doesn't move here. Don't be misled, you are entering. I pressed enter and installation started. It was pre-installed, so it performed an update. This part is done. After installing Homebrew, I will install UV. I went back to the GitHub page. I copied the brew install UV command line. I came, pasted in the terminal, and hit enter. It updated this as well. After the installation is complete, ensure you close and reopen the terminal. As I only have a Mac computer, I can only show it on a Mac. The GitHub page explains what you need to do on the Windows side. If you get stuck, you can get help from artificial intelligence I've shown many times before. These tasks are difficult for us, but they're no big deal for them. They provide pinpoint answers. It states Python version 3.10 or above is required. How would I know that? I can ask artificial intelligence. Let me use Grok. I went to Grok.com. How can I find out the Python version on my computer? I asked and sent it. Look, it showed how we can find out for both Windows and Mac. So, how can I install it? Sent it. It explained how I can install it on both Windows and Mac. Let's copy this line for example. Bureau. Install Python. I went to the terminal and pasted it. I pressed enter and as you see it was there. Sometimes you can ask AI again about errors from the terminal to learn the solution. Let's see. If there's an issue, we'll come back. I'm scrolling down the page. The MCP server JSON codes are here again, standard. Here, I copied only the Blender commands, leaving 2 curly braces below. I went to the cloud JSON file. I added a comma after the Firecrawl block and pasted the codes. Blender MCP has now been loaded. Now I've come to the cloud. Now there are 21 MCP commands. I exited the cloud and I'm entering again. Now there are 38 MCP commands. So the upload was successful. Process was on cloud desktop side. Now do process on Blender side. It says to get the Python file and load it into Blender. I came to the files. I clicked on the add.py file. It opened. The codes are like this. I'm clicking on the download icon here to download the file. The ATMPY file has been downloaded. The download of Blender is also complete. I double-clicked, dragged it into the application folder, completed the installation, and Blender opened on my computer. As you can see, the name Blender is fitting because it has a complex interface. Luckily, it will be done in the cloud, so I won't have to deal with it. First, let's load our ATMPY file and activate it in Blender. I went to the Edit menu. I clicked on the Preference menu. Look, there's an Add-in tab here. There's an arrow icon in the top right corner. I clicked on it. From the menu that opened, I clicked on Install from this link. From the panel that opened, I'm uploading the ATMP file I downloaded to my computer. Blender MCP appeared. Now I can close the panel. Let's activate the add-in. I'm going to the top right corner. There's a small arrow icon here. I clicked on it, and the panel opened. From this panel, I clicked on Blender MCP. I clicked on the Start MCP Server button and ran it. I'm also activating the Polyhaven source. It contains some ready-made 3D assets that can be used. Everything seems ready. I wasn't sure if I had closed and reopened the cloud. Now I'm closing and reopening it. Run the MCP server in Blender, close, and reopen the Cloud Desktop. I positioned Cloud Desktop and Blender in their places. I deleted the cube in my Blender scene. I'm immediately entering my prompt in the cloud. Can you create a sphere for me in Blender? I said and sent it. It asked for permission. I gave it, and it created it. I'm pressing the render shortcut. Pressed F12, and the render appeared. We're not clueless either. We know what F12 and such are. Try something else. Selected sphere and deleted it. Entered prompt. Create a simple scene in Blender. Inside a house with a wooden floor, there should be a glass, a book, and an apple on the table. The table should be medium-sized and have a wooden appearance. Illuminate the scene from above with a slight angle perspective. Use basic lighting settings and add realistic shadows. Assign simple materials to the objects to make them look natural. I said you can also use the Polyhaven resource and sent it. It said it would create it. It didn't say what the heck is this? This is an improvement. It politely requested permission, and I clicked the allow button. It added the floor and walls. It started making the table. It's adding the legs. The floor and walls seem small. It placed the glass, book, and apple in its own way. It asked for new permissions, and I granted all of them. It started pulling textures from Polyhaven. You can zoom in and out of the scene with the mouse wheel. It asks for permissions in between, and I give them. It's seriously working hard. Here's some Blender knowledge. With the tool where the letters X, Y, Z appear within the circle, I can rotate the scene freely. However, here I am rotating the scene. I am not rotating the object itself. Let's not confuse this. It's completed. I adjusted the camera. I rendered with the F12 keyboard key. I think it's a very good workflow. We were able to draw just with a prompt. Right now, it's in basic shapes. Of course, it will develop over time. You can also edit Blender models and file areas that you download from the internet in this way. For now, this is our situation in 3D work as well. From this point on, I don't think I have the time to learn and use 3D software for myself, but I've noted this down in my mind. The brain is free. As the development of artificial intelligence increases, I think it will be able to handle 3D work as well. I've always worked through the cloud file on GitHub, but there are developments happening outside of that as well. For example, PubMed, a library containing 34 million published medical articles, a free digital database. They have published their MCP servers themselves. Let's take a look away. PubMed is such a site, a database. Those who know understood the topic at once. If you're someone who keeps a distance from medicine, it's a site you won't visit again, but I think it's valuable for those who need it. You can also perform searches from here. It has a semantic search feature, allowing meaning searches, not just word searches, but we want to use it through Claude. I came to PubMed's MCP announcement page. I clicked on the content tab. Look, it's the same logic. Our favorite thing is standard. I'm not breaking my standard either. I leave 2 curly braces and copy the rest. No API needed, because everything is open and free, so it's not for you at all. I came to my cloud JSON file. Right after the Blender block, I hit it with my comma. I pressed enter and pasted my codes. I saved the file. I closed cloud and reopened it. Look, MCP has become 39. I came and entered my question with deep medical knowledge. Doctor friends, don't laugh. Wow. Don't say you found PubMed the question you're asking. Can you research the developments and meniscus treatment for me on PubMed? I said and sent it. Connected to PubMed, asked permission, I allowed. The answers came. I'm not reading them. Not because I don't understand, but to not take up your time, I'm not reading them. You can pause the video and read them. As a result, we confirmed that it pulled the information from PubMed. MCP, Model Context Protocol. It's actually one of the most important turning points in the integration of artificial intelligence with our real world. Every program on your computer, every site on the internet, every tool you use will be at the fingertips of an artificial intelligence model. I don't really know if this is good or bad. Time will tell, but I know this very well. We will need to closely follow these developments to be among the first to understand them. if the gap widens, it seems to me that it will be much harder to catch up. In summary, it's never too late to learn these technologies, but those who act early will always be one step ahead.